One round down in the 2023 NFL Draft, and already it has impacted at least one major BYU player in the National Football League. Has it impacted any of the guys considerably waiting to be drafted into the National Football League? Jarom, what does the weekend look like for the BYU guys? And that's a loose term here because there are a lot of them being impacted here based on what we saw in the first round of the draft.
It looks rich, as in money. Okay, a few takeaways. First off, the Colts took Anthony Richardson. Would they dare take another quarterback in Jaron Hall? Ideally, Jaron, because the Colts have interest, as you mentioned, and as John Beck's going to mention coming up in the B block in a taped interview from last night, is ideally Jaron's behind a vet. And so that's not the ideal scenario. Hoping the Colts don't take Jaron because I'd love Jaron to be behind a vet, okay? 3 QBs in the top 4 picks, then none after. Will Levis, Hendon Hooker still in the waiting room. When will Jaron go? What does that mean for Jaron? We'll certainly see. There are people, as John Beck's going to say as well, I keep teasing it was a really good conversation, that there are those who have Jaron Hall above Will Levis on their boards, which is interesting. 5 tackles taken in the first round. Probably good news for Blake Freeland, who's looking to go second or third round. Bijan Robinson to the Falcons, super weird pick to me because Tyler ran for 1,000 yards last year. Obviously looking for a 1-2 punch. And Arthur Smith, the head coach of the Falcons, said, Tyler Algier is a sledgehammer. Bijan Robinson is a contact balance guy. So
it's Reggie Bush and LaDainian Tomlinson. It's lightning and thunder they're hoping for in Atlanta.
And Lendale White?
Yeah, Lendale
yes.
White. That's right. Sorry. Not LT.
Yes.
Lendale White.
Although, yeah, I just feel like it means fewer carries for Tyler.
Oh, it does. It does.
And I don't necessarily like that. Maybe it means the tread on his tires will be lower over the next couple of seasons, and he'll be stronger when he's in. Who knows? You could look at it a couple of ways there. Cody Epps' high school quarterback went number 1 in the draft, Bryce Young from Alabama. That's pretty cool, like the connection with Cody there. And then 6 Big 12 players were taken among the 31 selections in the first round from 6 different teams. So 60% of the league represented. That was the most of any conference in college football, which is pretty cool, and it's nice that BYU doesn't have to play those guys next year.
For sure.
So those were my top takeaways from the first one.
Yeah, the Algier thing I know caught a lot of BYU fans off guard because my phone blew up. As soon as Bijan Robinson was drafted, I had 15 text messages from 15 different BYU people saying, wait, what? I thought Tyler was the guy. Is Tyler not the guy? And I hung out with Tyler recently on a few nights, and listen, he knows his role. He knows that the Falcons have asked him specifically to develop as a change of pace back. They want him to catch the ball more out of the backfield. So,
they just drafted a dude that's really good at that.
They drafted a guy that's good on first and second down too, and I feel like Tyler would probably be
awesome.
the third down and goal line scenario, short yardage scenario running back for the Falcons. So it could be a 1-2 punch. You're right. It means less carries for Tyler. He's not the bell cow running back clearly anymore. It's going to be a 2-back system for sure.
Tyler's the number 2 in that scenario. You don't go into the top 10
you don't draft somebody
Bijan and not have him the number 1.
And you have for a running back to be drafted
now.
that high in this day and age, they are absolutely in love with him.
We've had drafts where there were 0 running backs in the first round. We had 2 in the top 12.
It's a different era of NFL football. Running backs just don't go that high, and so the Falcons
that means they loved
Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
He'll be the main primary ball carrier, but they still love Tyler Algier. I know Arthur Smith loves Tyler Algier. It's just going to be, he's a good change of pace
back.
Not
a 1,000-yard guy now, unfortunately.
No,
that was fun to watch.
He could be a goal line crusher, though. Could still score a ton of touchdowns, get your short yardage, hard yards, rarely loses yards. So his role is shifting. It will change. Yeah. And he told me, they've really asked me to work on catching the ball out of the backfield much more. And that's typically what your third down change of pace back does, is you catch the ball a lot out of the backfield. They utilize that part of the game. So he'll be working on that. It would have been fun to have him be the primary guy for the Falcons.
It was out of left field, man. It was what?
But good for him. As a rookie, he ran for 1,035 yards. Bijan Robinson might break that record next year.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
Right?
Bijan's really good.
So, very interesting. The Falcons do need a quarterback, which is interesting, right? Will Will Levis fall so far?
They're not in on Desmond Ridder, who they picked last year?
They need a quarterback. They do. They need depth there. So I don't know what the future is for Mariota. I know they like Desmond Ridder, but the team has stated that they are actively looking at a quarterback potentially. So could Jaron Hall wind up with his former teammate Tyler Algier as a quarterback running back combination? Yeah, I still feel like everything that we projected and discussed yesterday in terms of like a good fit for all of our guys is still in play. I'm with you. I don't think the Colts loved Jaron Hall. There's no need for them to draft another rookie quarterback. You draft 2 rookie quarterbacks, and they're your guys.
Like when the Commanders
forward.
did that, as we mentioned, with RG3.
It was weird.
Kirk Cousins. That was odd.
That was a weird deal.
And ideally, again, we're in this like post-Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers thing where we're like, be behind the vet. And if you're not a first-round quarterback, you're not expected to kind of start right away or very soon. So hopefully Jaron gets in a good situation. Much more on that coming up with John Beck and Aaron Roderick. It's going to be a fun conversation.
So another takeaway I had is a ton of wide receivers were drafted.
4 in a row.
Wild.
Once Jackson Smith and Jigba went to my Seahawks, which I'm stoked about, it went boom, 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 boom. 4 receivers gone.
4 receivers.
Including Quentin Johnson of TCU. Glad to not face that guy
so fast.
in the Big 12.
So fast.
Jeez.
This bodes well for Puka Nacua. He's well down the list, but to have that many receivers taken early in the first round now has teams that need wide receiver depth looking at a guy more aggressively like Puka Nacua. A team like the Green Bay Packers. The Patriots are interested in wide receivers. Everybody needs wide receiver depth because those are guys that can play special teams.
Yeah, you need like 5. You need 3 really good receivers, and then you need like a couple other capable guys. Everybody needs them. It's 2023.
Yeah, we documented the 49ers are interested.
Anyone who has, anyone can take Puka. Like, it's not like, nope, nobody, this team couldn't take him.
Yes.
Like, literally every team could take Puka Nacua.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not draft an offensive tackle. A lot of people thought they might do that in the first round. The Buccaneers went with a defensive lineman out of Pittsburgh. So does Blake Freeland to Tampa Bay become more of a reality because we're into day 2 and Blake is a day 2, we think, a second round or third round guy?
And we think tackle, but he could be a guard. Who knows? Like, we didn't think Brady Christensen was going to be a starting guard.
The 49ers need interior offensive linemen.
Who doesn't need O-linemen? Like, the only position where you go, you don't need that guy is quarterback with first round guys. And then everyone else could take every position. Because you always need more edge rushers. You always need more everything.
Yeah, there were more skill players taken in the first round than I expected there to be.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too. 4 receivers, 2 running backs.
Yeah.
And only 3 quarterbacks.
And 3 quarterbacks.
We thought like 5 would go in the first round.
With
Will Levis and
Hendon
Hooker are still sitting there, which is pretty interesting.
But I think there were 9. Well, if you include the tight end Dalton Kincaid to the Bills, that's 10 skill players in the first round, which I thought was a lot.
Michael Mayer looks so mad when they show him, and BYU knows firsthand what Michael Mayer looks like when he's happy, because he chewed up the Cougs this year. That was tough. It's
a fascinating ordeal. It's such a huge event. It's a spectacle for sure.
I love the NFL draft, like way more than any other draft. Like it is. But I used to love the NBA draft. Now I'm like, I don't even know who 3/4 of these guys are.
All right. Well, let's call our shots here. Okay, we've saw the first round.
Let's just
we've seen how things
throw with our guys here.
We've seen how things have developed
have
and
you
have
been
put on the
by
board.
the way?
I have, and it's fun.
I have not.
One time. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
I've thrown axes, just not there.
Just don't watch So I Married an Axe Murderer before you go throw
in the backyard.
axes.
Yeah. Kids, stay in the house.
Okay, let's call our shots here with the 3 guys.
All right, let's go.
With the things that have happened in the first round, what we think is going to happen. So,
if one of us get one of these 6 picks, meaning team or round, that's pretty good because this is just a crapshoot.
Okay, all right.
Emphasis on crap.
So let's start with the guy that we think is and has been most consistently projected to go first, and that is Blake Freeland. Where do you have Blake Freeland going?
Buffalo Bills, 3rd round, 91st pick.
91st pick to Buffalo.
I think 3rd round, Buffalo takes Blake. I got Jaron in the 4th to my Seahawks. Seahawks! And then Puka Nacua I have to the Texans, 6th round, 203rd pick.
Okay.
This is what I have. Hopefully I get one of these, just for the heck of it.
You think both Blake and Jaron are going to go in the top 4 rounds?
I do.
We talked about good, better, best. This would qualify, in my opinion, as a better draft for BYU if 2 guys go in the top 4 rounds.
It's not best, but it's definitely good. And hopefully Caleb Hayes sneaks in the 7th. I don't know. It's hard to know on that one. But if he does, that'd be great.
A lot of teams, again, with all the skill positions drafted, a lot of teams did not take tackles and interior offensive linemen. So I feel like we're going to have a ton of those tonight.
Isn't it fun when it's like someone not named BYU at tackle? You're like, sorry, who is that? Unless it's like Paris Johnson, Ohio State, like the big ones, right? But we're not like NFL draft experts. So it's fun to be like, I love watching the 4th through 7th round. Like, you go to commercial break, there's like 4 dudes taken. You're like, some German dude just got taken by the Patriots.
Networks are just playing catch up when you come back from commercial. Oh, we just had 3 picks.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
A
lot of fun. Okay, for me, Blake Freeland, I'm buying the Kansas City Chiefs hype. They need
That'd be fun.
A couple of offensive linemen. They're in desperate need of an offensive tackle that can come in and potentially start and play right away. So I'm taking Blake Freeland, 3rd round, 95th pick overall.
Go and get him in the 2nd then, Chiefs.
And the Kansas City Chiefs. For Jaron Hall, and this is not a surprise if you've been following along with the show, I know the Minnesota Vikings are really impressed with him. They liked his attitude, his maturity. They have Kirk Cousins. I feel like Jaron Hall mentality and his even keel nature is a lot like Kirk Cousins.
You like that?
I do like that. You like that? 158th pick overall, 5th round, Jaron Hall to the Vikings. And then Puka Nacua, I feel like the Bills, like as in Bill Belichick and Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator. The two Bills. Okay, the 2 Bills for New England. They are known.
Sounds like a 30 for 30.
Especially Belichick. He finds these gems, these diamonds in the rough in the late rounds. And I feel like Puka Nacua fits that mold. And the Patriots need big physical receivers. Puka Nacua fits the mold. 6th round, 210th pick, a compensatory pick. New England is going to take Puka Nacua in the 6th round.
Pitchers had their fun. Let's not give them more.
And if they don't draft him, I expect them to be like probably the first phone call to Puka, like, hey, come and join us. We'll do what we did with Harvey Longy and make you like a preferred, high-level free agent.
Yep.
They gave Harvey a nice contract, right? Yeah, like a 6-figure free agent deal as an undrafted free agent. It worked out well for him. So
I just assume all these guys are going to make some good money.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. All right, we've thrown our darts. We'll see.
If we get one of those 6, just team or round, I'll be happy.
We'll play closest to the pin on Monday.
We'll play close to the pin on Monday.
Yeah, we'll see who wins on Monday.
And furthest from the pin.
Yes. Yeah, what were you thinking?
This was way off. He didn't even get drafted.
Our